What's good, people? It's Chunkle, back at it again with this ratchet-ass mic. It's kind of been a minute, hasn't it? I guess I owe you guys some sort of explanation as to what I've been doing in my absence. To be honest, though, not very much. I went and played through all of the Soulsborne games in a marathon that lasted a while, but mainly I just floated through life while playing Way of the Hunter and other games. So I have a few clips for my break that I'll be uploading at some point, too. The main reason I left was because none of my favorite games for the channel were really getting updated, and I had taken a lot of trophies that Way of the Hunter had to offer. Another big reason that I took a break was my last video that I put a lot of effort into, and it took a lot of time to edit. It really badly underperformed. So if you haven't seen it, you should absolutely go check it out, because I think it's some of my better work. But since then, much has changed in Way of the Hunter and a few other games that could fit the channel. My favorite new piece of content is absolutely Aurora Shores. The map is so fucking good. This first clip is from a few hours after I gathered all the campsites and started genuinely hunting for 5 stars on the map. I spotted this guy a while before the clip as a 4-star and hadn't spotted him since, so I made sure I brought my crossbow with me just in case and moved up close to the little pond his herd drank at to see if he made it to 5 stars. Sadly, goats have no fucking calls, so once I did get up on him and see he was alive and big, I still had to wait approximately 2 eons for him to give me what I thought was a good shot. I don't know about you, but to me at the time, that looked like straight money. So when this blood had no air bubbles, it kinda hurt my caveman brain. One extremely long and arduous trek later, I found this guy laying pretty much out in the open. I always hate when I don't make a very good shot on trophy animals in these games, but I was just glad I found this guy. Either way, I was interested to see where I hit. And as you can see, the centering was right, but I was a fair bit too low. Not bad, but I have a few 5-star goats, so I wanted to go find some new trophies. This next clip happens on the rainforest island at the bottom of the map. This area I'm in is practically the only part of the island that isn't covered in foliage. Basically, I'd been keeping track of a 3-star adult Sitka deer that drank out in the open right next to a herd of elk. They consistently stayed in their spots and zones, and so I was able to track this guy's growth pretty well up until this clip. All of these clips were recorded pre-patch, so the dots would still zero through animals towards the ground, and the elk antlers were still messed up. And a lot of these crossbow hunts involve just a hell of a lot of calling, but in the end, I think it's worth it. I'm so glad they fixed the zeroing issue pretty quick, because in a minute you'll see me have to spot the ground in front of me to estimate how far he'd be at a certain point, which is probably more realistic but also more annoying. And damn, did he take his sweet time, but once he got to around that 30-meter mark, I knew I had him. Real quick, I'd like to shoehorn in a big-ass thank you to THQ Nordic for not just reusing mule deer antlers. I was a little worried that they might copy and paste too much from other maps, but obviously that was unfounded. While the model isn't a perfect one-to-one with real life, I really like it. Even up to the point I'm recording this, I'm still not very impressed by how either crossbow performs, but it did manage to drop this guy with just a lung shot, so it's not awful or anything. Plus, I use bows and crossbows for the fun, not the viability. If it was just for viability, I wouldn't touch the damn things. This final clip ended up being a bit more of a difficult situation than the others, but that also made it more interesting. This also takes place on the Rainforest Island, just across the lake from the main cabin. After throwing out a few calls, I see a massive pair of antlers over the hill, so I keep hammering on the call, trying to get this giant within range. When he actually does get in range, I find out it's the 4-star, not even the 5. Even worse, there's another elk also coming into the call between me and the 5. Luckily, right before the big boy got too close, he got disinterested, turned back, and trotted over the ridge. So I decided to make a risky play and creep my way up to the ridge to see if I could get a proper shot in the 5 without any interruptions. So I send out a few calls to pull him in, and seeing him bugle out a response in the pouring rain reminds me of part of why I love this damn game so much. Totally penned him. You might have noticed how before I took the shot, I turned off Hunter Sense. I did this because I think the game's colors often get muted by Hunter Sense, which is a shame because it's so useful, you'll probably have it on all of the time. And yeah, this is what I mean when I say that penetration on these things doesn't really impress me. I was right up on this guy and barely got the bolt down to the fletching. As per usual though, this Roosevelt elk model looks first class. It's pretty incredible. Still scored below 470, which has been a theme of this video. And that will be all for today. Again, I'm sorry for the absence. I'll try to remain consistent for uploads. I hope you guys enjoyed today's hunts. If you did, you should like the video and subscribe to the channel for more content exactly like this. That's about it. See ya.